What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about the combat of Gotham Knights. I want to talk about if the combat of this game is going to be better than the Arkham game. So, well, here's the deal. A couple of different people have asked me, and I thank anybody who's ever asked me about anything about this game to make videos of. But people have been asking me to talk about the actual, what each person would actually be wielding, right? How the actual, minute-to-minute gameplay would be. And, thinking it over, trying to do it, I was like, I don't know if I could talk about, using a baton for 10 minutes or using pistols, if you're a Red Hood for 10 minutes. But I did think, okay, well, let's break it down, or I guess let's take it one step further up where it's a little bit more common, and let's just talk about the gameplay in general, how I think the gameplay is going to feel compared to Arkham. Obviously, it's different. Obviously, they are not using that free-flowing combat system that we've had in the Arkham games, and the question is that okay? Would this one be better? Would this be worse? So those are the things I want to talk about in this video. Now, again, I really do thank anybody who ever asks me anything on this game. If you guys want me to make specific videos on Gotham Knights, let me know in the comments. Let me know. You can let me know on Twitter. Twitter's a really good place of getting to me as well. My Twitter name, and again, we're pushing for 2,000 followers, and we're getting super, super close. Podcast Now 15 is my Twitter handle. And final things, make sure, as always, you're subscribed here. Bell icon turn on. We're actually getting close to 50,000 subscribers here. We'll push that milestone as we get, maybe when we get 48,000, we can push that a little bit more. It's coming, guys. It's coming. So, all right, let's talk about this. So, I really am not so down on the gameplay of this, of Gotham Knights, as I think other people are, and I think as a lot of people would maybe assume that I am. Remember, a thing with me online is that I despise this game. Now, technically, I guess it's probably only Reddit, and Reddit just, I think, hates everybody in the Gotham Knights or Arkham community, but I really don't. I'm actually excited for quite a few things. I have been very critical, but that's because I'm not a sheep. I'm not going to just say good things, and that's all, or I'm not going to bow to their feet. If I see things I don't like, I'm going to call them out. And if I see things I do like, I'm going to say it. And obviously, the jury is still out until the game comes out, and then obviously we can have at it. We could either storm down there, which I guess I'll leave it there because obviously I'm not advocating we actually do that. But no, look, the combat's definitely going to be something that is I would say hit or miss. But obviously there's gray areas in between. But I do want to believe that it's either going to work and people are going to be like, oh, you know what? This is different than Arkham's. Okay, and I say Arkham's because just all of them. Arkham Knight is, I think, by a mile the best one. Okay, once you really are moving around and Batman's already in the begin. So here's the deal. I played Arkham Knight. I actually did it for a live stream. And I'll probably replay a lot of these games getting closer to Gotham Knights. And maybe I'll even live stream those. But when I played Arkham Knight, I started it, and I realized that the game really feels like it expects you to remember everything about the combat going into it. So, as soon as you land with Batman in that first fighting scene where there's, a group of guards, that, it doesn't really tell you anything. You just kind of go, and the game expects you that you're going to be okay, which is funny. But, it just feels so natural, and Batman kind of already feels very high-powered, okay? And then, obviously, as you keep going, as you do your upgrades, as you get all of your gadgets back, all that stuff, I mean, you really start to become a force, right? And that's the whole point of that game, is kind of okay, well, this is him at his peak, but this is also everybody else. This is going to really push him as far as he can go. So, to say that Gotham Knights could be as good as that, I don't know. I would say that, again, it's probably going to be unfair to compare them, because I think Gotham Knights is going to flat out be so very different. It's going to be, we've seen a little bit in the gameplay where there's going to be the I don't even know what you want to call it, the hit numbers. So when you hit them, they have a life bar that goes down, and you're going to see the numbers of what your weapon does on them. Now, I think there are going to be a lot of people that don't like that. I think there already is, right? As soon as that came out, as soon as that trailer came out, obviously there was the group that said, no Batman, no me playing. And I understand that. I have nothing against those people. I've never had anything against those people. But there were also the people that were holy dear Jesus, what did they do to all of these in-game systems, which again is completely cool. And I do think we probably should be skeptical, because games like this, they don't always work. They don't always work like this. They absolutely can, and I hope this kind of goes more, towards the good than the bad. The interesting thing with this game is obviously the 4 characters, right? And they are gonna play a little bit different. I mean, just in the gameplay alone, and this is why I so badly want Nightwing and Red Hood, because just what we've seen of Robin and Batgirl, they do play differently. I mean, Batgirl Yeah, like obviously again you can tell it's a little bit slower. It's obviously it has again those like the hit markers where it has like the numbers that pop off the enemies. Like it has that, and you're gonna be able to do different skills and stuff like that. So it very much is a different game than Arkham. But remember, Batgirl actually is the closest to Batman, and she plays as close to Batman in the Arkham games as you're gonna get. Everybody else plays even more different, and even Batgirl does play different. So you see that with Robin, you see that with her. Again, that's why I really want to see Nightwing and Red Hood, especially Red Hood, because obviously there's going to be a lot of, I think all of them are going to have it. There's going to be like ranged attacks, close attacks, and we see that a little bit with the two that we got. With Red Hood, I think it's going to be even more like, okay, he primarily should probably be like out of range, I guess, like in range in terms of firing a gun, but out of range in terms of he's not going to do very much like hand-to-hand combat. So, you know, again, like I am kind of positive on it. I want to remain optimistic until it falls apart. It really, to me, is going to depend not even on the so like I know people ask me about the actual weapons. The thing that excites me / is the make or break thing, I think more importantly, is the skills. When you level up, however that's going to work, however you level up, and, you know, even the gear thing definitely does worry me, but the skills, like what your character is going to be able to do 20 hours into the game versus the very beginning, that's what excites me. I really don't have any worry about the characters all being different, because I do think they were all, you know, and I guess act, but I really mean play, okay? I really think they will all play different. I think that if I play all the way through as Batgirl and you play all the way through as Red Hood, not only are obviously we're going to get different, like, dialogue stuff and things like that, and obviously, you know, but I guess there's also parts of that of, like, traversal, right? They're not all going to traverse the world the same way. In fact, I think they're all going to do it slightly differently. So you'll have that, and you'll also have how you actually fight. The thing is just, it's probably, I don't want to compare it to Avengers, and I always say that, and I always do it anyway. Just the one part of this that I do want to bring up Avengers with is I do actually like how Avengers did the combat. And now, it didn't work perfectly because I do still think it gets very, very repetitive, and for a game that wants to live on forever, which is what those games kind of do. Now, Gotham Knights isn't necessarily that, but you know, you have Avengers and you're constantly doing it. You level up to 50 and you get all of your skills relatively quickly. Now, probably not during the main story. Like, if you're only doing the main story, you're not going to get there in time, right? You'll have to do the multiplayer stuff to then, you know, I guess come back. But they did a really nice job of making each character, I think, feel very like an individual and very unique in terms of what their skill set is and what they're able to actually do. Again, though, just the more you play and when you do it over and over and over again, you see the same moves over and over. And again, though, you know, Batman does the same thing. Even in the Arkham games, while I definitely like that combat, like I'd rather play Arkham Knight than, say, Marvel's Avengers. I mean, yes, you see the same takedowns if you play long enough, right? You're going to see everything the game has to offer. It's really, I guess, a very important part of it is that loop, is how much fun is that loop of constantly fighting? Like, is it kind of rewarding enough? And I do think a game like Gotham Knights can do it. I think that it probably has a lower ceiling, so that's kind of what I predict. I think the combat of Gotham Knights is probably overall going to be pretty solid, but I do think the height of like how good it could be is probably lower than what we've gotten in the Arkham game. So I don't know. I really am not expecting much, and maybe that makes it sound actually like very, very negative. Don't take that the wrong way. Like, I'm not with the, I guess, combat specifically. I am expecting actually quite a few things with the entire game, but with the combat of Gotham Knights, like going into it, I'm really not expecting all that much. Like, it's really their opportunity to win me over because they just, you know, you give me the characters. Again, you make the skills fun. You make them very, you know, individualistic. You make them very unique, and that's it. And you just make it fun to be able to fight people. And you make it so that it's as much as you possibly can not repetitive, unless the repetitiveness is actually like a cool thing, like it actually still is fun. And again, there's more to it than just you know, that person, Batgirl. So I'm playing as Batgirl, I'm fighting. There's more to it than that because the enemies will change things too. Maybe the location or the like levels of the enemies. So there's definitely more stuff like game system wise that they can do to keep things, you know, mixed up. Which again, same thing kind of as Avengers. If you just give us enough enemies, which which Avengers didn't. If Gotham Knights just gives us enough enemies, that really can take away in a good way from us worrying about the actual combat, right? Yes, you may be doing the same moves, but if you're fighting wildly different enemies every hour or so, well, you probably won't care, right? Because at least you're going to be doing something pretty different. That's really all they need to do. So we'll have to see how that works out as time goes on. But let me know, guys, in the comments below, what do you think? How do you think combat will work out? Do you think it'll be better, worse than the Arkham games? Let me know. As always, make sure you guys are subscribed. Again, bell icon turned on, so you know I do all these videos. I do them every, I'd say 4 or 5 days is probably when you can always expect a new Gotham Knights video. Podcast now 15, my Twitter handle. Make sure you guys are following me over there. And final thing is, again, any future suggestions that you want me to cover Gotham Knights, let me know in the comments below. We're in the middle of the darkest period I think that we've ever been in, because even when the game wasn't announced, we still could just speculate like wild. Now it's like, for the love of God, do they really even care anymore? I don't know. So obviously it's definitely a dead period. Hopefully that picks up over the next couple months, and I think it will. Over the summer, I think we're going to be in for some good conversations. So thank you all so much for watching. I hope to see you all on the next video.